Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Farmwskiville. Well, I hope you enjoyed that, watching everybody work together outside. We had a good time with some of the neighbor children helping us. So I guess we'll show you what we have set up in here to take what we have from inside plus the other stuff that we got. The formula that we have for our seed starter is a conglomeration of a couple people's ideas, a couple different YouTubers, namely one of them, Peter Canaris from Green Dreams TV. We leaned heavily upon one of his mixtures. So I'll show you what we have. From outside, we brought in our garden soil, our coarse sand, and our compost. We're also going to add some perlite, some peat moss, lime, and something called blood meal. Now, two things we don't have here that we wanted was colloidal phosphate, I believe that's what the name of it was, and green sand. I looked at a couple places and couldn't find it. I don't think it's too critical that we don't have it, but it would have been nice to add it. So now I'll show you the ratios of how we're going to mix this together. I have some helpers here this evening to get these things mixed together. You guys ready to help me? Yes. Okay. Well, let's take that bucket right there, and we're going to move it over below the compost bucket first. And I'd like to take about a third of this bucket and scoop it into that bucket. So we have a couple things we can use for that. We have some garden trowels here. We got a scoop from inside. We even have a cup. So you guys can work together to get roughly a third of this bucket into that bucket. And we're only working on the compost. So let everybody help, but go ahead and start filling that up. When we get to a third, I'll let you know. Okay guys, I think that's probably enough. Go ahead and dump it in. That's good. And then let's move our bucket over and we'll put our coarse sand in next. Okay, that's probably good, guys. Now let's bring it over. And we're going to do a third of the garden soil.
Look, there's little plants sprouting in there.
Alright, that's going to be enough in that bucket, I think. Now that we have the bucket full of the three ingredients, we're going to dump it in here, our mixing pan, before we add the other ingredients. It's pretty heavy, so I'll take care of doing it. Now, because this is a full bucket and we're going to need more room than what we have in this mixing container, what we'll do is we'll have the children mix it by hand, and then we'll dump half of it back in the bucket, and we'll kind of do a half batch at a time. So if you guys want to work together here, get your hands in there and get it mixed up. You want to dig down nice and deep to turn it over. Yep, that's it. Dig down nice and deep.
Patches.
Now, can you guys see how the color of it has changed, where you could really see the sand before? Now you don't see the sand as much.
It's more of a grayish color.
That's right. That's because you guys are mixing it in nice and good. I just want to make sure you guys got everything off the bottom. See how I'm getting that sand off the bottom? It's because you guys aren't going all the way to the bottom. That's okay, you're still learning, but that's what you want to do. Get in there all the way to the bottom so it mixes together. You'll get a little bit of sand and dirt and whatnot that comes out. That's okay. That's how it works when you're working around dirt and soil. We'll clean up when we're finished. All right. That looks pretty good. I think we worked it in there pretty good. So we got the beginnings of our soil mixed up pretty good. Like I said, we'll take half of what we have in our mixing pan and we'll put it back in the bucket and we'll put a half batch together. And then I think we're going to put it right into our refill cells. That'd be these guys right here. Get them loaded up right away. Let's see where we're at. That's enough. Like anything else we do here on Farmwskiville, definitely trial and error, trying to figure it out as we go along. So now we know roughly a half of a 5-gallon bucket or 2.5 gallons fit well in the mixing pan before we put other things in. So I think we'll start with our perlite. Okay. I'm just going to cut the corner open on this. There we go. Now I'm told a little bit of perlite, a little bit of perlite goes a long way. So we're going to put a cup in for the half bucket that we've done so far. There's roughly a cup. Okay, go ahead and add it in there, bud. There we are. And then if you guys want to start mixing it in, go ahead and just dump it in, bud. It'll get mixed in good. All right, on to our next ingredient. Next, we'll add our peat moss. I think I'll probably put a half bag of this in, so we won't use a measuring cup for this. Looks like you can just tear it open. Okay, here we go. So we'll try to basically figure out about a half a bag for a half a bucket. Okay guys, let me just pinch a half bag. All right. So I'll keep on mixing and we'll go on to the next thing. All right, so next we got lime, and I'm looking at the ratios they have on here, and it looks like I'm gonna put roughly a half a pound of this into our mixing pan. So I got a little scale here, and we'll use the measuring cup and see if we can put a half pound in there. We're close to a half pound. We're not going too crazy. Got to keep it approximate. Maybe we should turn this on first. There we go. Now we're zeroed out. Oh, I messed that up. Let me try again. There, now we're on pounds. All right. Okay, that's about a half pound. Now guys, when I spread this on, let me spread it on, so if you guys can just stop a minute. I want the dust to settle before you spread it in, okay? So hands off, hands out. Let me just spread it on. Be nice and easy when you're spreading this in. You don't want to inhale the dust or get it really in your eyes too much, okay? All right? Let the dust settle a little bit. All right, go ahead and turn it in. That's it. Good job, guys. Going all right? Anybody pass out yet? No? So the next ingredient we have is blood meal. Get this thing open. And the way I believe I calculated this, we also need to put roughly a ½ pound into a half a bucket's worth. Now this feels like it's a lot more dense than the lime was, so we shouldn't have to put as much in to get a pound. Looks like coffee grounds almost. Doesn't smell like coffee grounds though. There we go, ½ pound. There we go. All right, you mix it in good and slow. Now I'm going to venture to guess that my children did a good job, but I just want to get down in here deep at the corners and the edges and just make sure it's all good to go. And then I think we're going to start filling up our the refill cells right away. Now if you want to, spilled a little there. If you want to, you could always do this outside. We're just doing it inside tonight because it's later in the evening. We did a lot outside already. You know, we have the luxury of doing it, but something like this most people would do outside. Also, you could use a bucket to mix this. You could use your wheelbarrow to mix it. It was suggested that you buy this mixing, what is this called?
Mixing tray.
A mixing tray, something like that. And I think we got this one from Tractor Supply. This certainly is nice when you want to have other people helping. And looking at this, it almost looks like we could add another cup of perlite to this. What do you guys think? Okay, I think we're going to add another cup of perlite to this, and then we'll put it into our refill cells. There's our cup number 2 of perlite. Okay, go ahead and mix it in. We definitely want our soil to be light and fluffy. We want it to be loomy. We don't want compacted soil. So that's one of the reasons we added the peat moss and the perlite. That looks pretty good, guys. All right, I guess we'll bring our refill cells over here in our tray and then we'll fill them up.